Good morning and welcome to the My Tarot Morning Reflection, our daily inventory. Chance to do blah blah blah, to breathe. Oh my gosh. Oh, good morning, Jenna and Angelina and Jenny. How is everybody? So I was up way too late last night, and trust me, I need my 8 hours of sleep. But man, so a friend of ours. So if you ever get a chance to go to Salem or go up to Baltimore, he's the one who has the Salem Witchboard Museum, and he also has the Baltimore Witchboard Museum. And Baltimore is where the Ouija board was originally created. That I have all this Ouija board stuff. It's from Baltimore, but he stayed over last night, and man, I did not get anywhere near my 8 hours sleep, but here I am. So, talking about blustery, it's like what? Did I see there? It's like 13 degrees outside. Oh, it's raised up in temperature. We're now to 14 degrees. So, if Maureen was here, she would totally get it. We're starting to get them Canadian temperatures. So, what are we doing here? At the My Tarot Morning Reflection, our daily inventory, where we listen to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. Getting that breath. Flipping that light switch. Getting our feet flat on the floor and comfortable, and then rotating the ankles, because, wow, that does feel good. And then the butt doing the kitty dance, getting all comfortable. Shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed. So I was sitting here actually flipping through the cards, and part of me really wants to go through all, 940 videos. I want to see what cards don't show up, because it seems like, I know it's supposed to be random, and I know it's supposed to be, pure chance, but there are some cards that never ever pop up, and there's some cards that seem to pop up all the time, and it just fascinates me about how that's possible, except for that thread going out to the universe thing. But you're kidding me. Hold on for a second. Oh, I have learned my magic. There we go. So yeah, just the randomization, but it just seems like there's patterns that you can't deny. So, with that breath, with that relaxation, what are we going to do then? We're going to check in with the universe, see if we have any angers or resentments, anything that we might want to take a look at today. So if we take a look at any anger or resentments now, maybe later on if somebody says something, normally we would be triggered, but this time we'll be like, you know what, we talked about that this morning. That doesn't bother me. I'm just going to go outside and get an extra breath, the kind of thing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make our 3 stacks. Each one a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these stacks is a different path. Because this stack right here will lead us down one conversation, this one's a different conversation, and this stack will take us in a totally different direction. And today, let's take the center stack, or what I like to think of as things that are right at the heart. So, and I'm going to do our 3 in 1. And I'll flip each card over one at a time, like we're reading the pages of a book. And again, this is always the exciting part for me, to see what that first card's going to be. Because it really is like opening up a book and you're about to read the very first sentence of a book. And that's going to set the course for the day. Well, here's one that doesn't come up very often anymore. So this card used to pop up all the time. But not for quite a while. So judgment. What is judgment? Judgment is when I'm staring at you and I'm looking at all of your errors and things. And no, it's not. Judgment is just our karma card. Judgment is where we reap what we sow. As I like to say, you do the next right thing, you get the next right thing. So when we see the judgment card, this is one of those cards where we can reflect back on our past patterns, on where we are today, what our goals are for tomorrow. And again, it's one of those things where we reap what we sow. So if we've had a bad week, if we've had things, if we've been hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, and we're resentful, and all these things like that, the judgment card is what reminds us that we're going to carry that through. What do we want to do? Do we want to keep doing this? And there's consequences. Again, you do the next wrong thing, you get the next wrong thing. So it's an interesting start to the 9 of Cups. So cups are our spirituality, our emotions, and our feelings. And nines are about fulfillment. Nines are, we're getting ready to start a new cycle. It's what I like to say that when in numerology, we go from 1 to 10. And that when we start at 1, if it's a race, you're running a race, you get to 4. 4 is like stability. 5 is you're in the race, but 5s are always a challenge. Am I going to get over the hill? But when we run this race, 10 is not the finish line. 9 is the finish line. 10 is what we do with the winnings. So when we look at the 9s, we are reflecting on our accomplishments. And again, the minors are the day-to-day cards, right? So we all have accomplishments. We all have positive things in our lives. And maybe, especially with the judgment card, maybe things that we have done for other people or for those around us, or something positive that we may have been able to work on. And, we do reap a benefit from that. It may not be monetary, it may not be physical, but if we have strings going out to the universe, we reflect that positivity and it comes back. But let's see what the next card is. And so it is the Page of Wands, the Valet de Bâton. So what is that then? So the page is when we have that opportunity to start something fresh. Pages will go to court in the 1500s, and they would go to there. They weren't slaves or anything like. A page was somebody who's another person's son, who then you would send them to court so they could learn to be a knight. So a knight can learn to be a king. And so a page is when we are open to learning something new. A page is when we are aware of our surroundings with the Page of Wands, because wands are the element of fire. Wands are our passion. Wands are our fire. Wands are our energy. So this is a chance to reflect on the positive things that we've done, that we've achieved. And the question is, where do we want to go with it? What do we want to do? So today, and we still have the advice card, have we received something good in our lives? Is there something that we can say, I did something for somebody, even if it was just to let somebody in front of you when you're driving? These are positive, small positive things build up. But if that's a spark, then the Page of Wands is looking for that spark. And that spark can ignite a passion that says, you know what? I did something. I've done something. I'm looking back. This was a good week. You know, let me build on that. But let's see what the advice card is. And it is the death card. Another card we haven't seen in quite a while. So what is death? So, of course, it's not the Hollywood thing and we're not going to die. The end. Death is transition. Death is about moving forward. Death is when one door opens or closes, you know, we need to be prepared to walk through another door. So when we see this spread like this is about reflection, not looking at the negative. You know, we all have a positive. And then where do we want to go with our childlike energy? We all have a child. So for me personally, for Christmas, I got a 3D printer. And I have been having a field day with it. I'm not downloading stuff that other people have done. I'm actually creating stuff. I wish I had not just given a friend of mine, I gave John all these statues that I made so that he could, I just kind of donated them. I wish you could see them, but they're my creations. And so I'm learning CAD with that. So it's that reflecting on the good and then saying, what can I do next? And then I'm getting this childlike joy out of creating things. And so personally, I can relate to this because, and I'll give you the example also, is that I had been doom scrolling. I had been staring at the computer. I've been, looking at the news and everything else. And ever since I got this this printer, I only got one thing, actually a couple things. Well, here we go. So look at what I made for Mina. Look at this thing. She really likes Baba Yaga. So this is not something that somebody else created. This is something I was able to create. I came up with the design and everything else. And I made her a Baba Yaga hut. So this is my example of where, I instead of letting the doom scrolling and everything get to me, I decided I was going to take a chance and do something else. And reflecting on all those positives and stuff, it's like, what would be fun for me to learn? I totally feel like the Page of Wands. I know, is that not the coolest thing? So the real cool thing that I made is the blue ghost from the Ouija board, and I made a really cool one. But again, sense the enthusiasm that I had. But ever since I've started learning something new, I've stopped the doom scrolling so much because I'm learning something new. So today, look for that spark. This is when I'm reading for people, and I've got events coming up in Frederick, and I've got a couple classes coming up, and I'm going to start reading in Frederick also more. But when this card pops up sometimes, it just reminds me to look for the magic in the ordinary. When we were young, when we were kids, when we were the pages, first time we ever saw a dandelion, and we blew it, and we saw the little ballerinas, that was so magical. But as we got older and jaded, we just started seeing weeds. So today, it's about transition. It's about coming out of a chrysalis. It's about being able to walk through, because change is hard, and that's what this card is saying. So today, find that positive change. Look for that enthusiasm that we used to have, and go forth. Why am I'm just in a good mood because this is a really good spread this morning. So I hope that reflects for everybody. Do I have photos of them? I do. I do. You know what? I'll show it tomorrow. Because I made her an even more intricate Baba Yaga hut than this. This was my first attempt at a Baba Yaga hut. But I hope everybody does have that amazing day. There is no small good deed. There is no small good deed. You don't know where that thread's going to lead. So have a great day today. Thanks again, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Take care.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand.